Hey guys, in this video we're going to be going over how to create title blocks. So you're going to be using title blocks when you put together your presentation or your actual construction documents for your projects going forward in the class. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. Some of the smaller ones will have title blocks just sort of in the bottom right corner. Others will be all the way across the bottom. Larger title blocks will fill up sort of the whole right side of the actual sheet of paper. Um, I'm going to show you guys sort of the principles of what I would do when setting up a sort of custom title block. So right now I just have a brand new AutoCAD drawing. I haven't started anything in here yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to Layout. And I'm going to right click here, go to Page Setup Manager, and I'm going to modify my settings. I'm going to go to, let's do, where is it? Let's do ArcD, because I think I told you guys to do, I know I'll have you guys do ArcD at various points. So actually let's do ArcC. Let's do ArcC, because that's kind of what was in my head starting this. So we're looking at 18 by 24, 24 by 18 on the sheet size here with the ArcC. So I'm going to hit OK. That's going to adjust my sheet, and we can hit close now that that's done, and we can delete this viewport. So one of the things Revit's going to, or sorry, not Revit, AutoCAD is going to do is it's going to show you this dashed line right here. And that's sort of the recommended minimum margins. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just kind of start a line just inside of there. And let's see. That looks too, oh, did I not? I didn't do units. Let me do units real quick. Get off all these tools. Units. And we'll go architectural. Okay. So again, I'm going to do a polyline here. That looks to be, what, 1 foot? We'll call that 1 foot 10, just to stay within that. So 1 foot 10 is my width right here. What? What's going on here? 1 foot 10? That's what, 22 inches? Yeah, 22 inches. Okay, that was weird. And then we're gonna go down, and this should go to that, which is, we'll call this, we'll just go to the, we'll do the solid 17 inches right there. And then we'll bring it back, and I'll just, for this, I'll just reference that corner. Come on. There we go. And then CL to close it. Did I end up with a second little line segment right there? That was weird. Okay, so this is what I'm going to have for my actual title block. So this is the border that is going to make up our drawing here. And just like everything, I'm actually going to move it just a little bit down right there so it's a little bit more centered. So once this is in place, we can go ahead and just explode it because we're going to want those extra lines there. If you just drew lines, you're fine. You don't need to do anything. I'm going to do fillet, and I'm going to do radius, and I'm going to choose a 1/2 inch radius. And then I'm just going to go around and I'm going to round all my corners here. So I'm just selecting 2 things with the settings there, and then spacebar, click and click, spacebar, click and click. So that gets those settings right there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take what I just selected there. I'm going to join it back together. This is a little neat trick. And then I'm going to offset it. We'll offset it, let's say 1/8 of an inch, so that we end up with a, oops, offset 1/8 inch, specify side, and then exit. That was weird. Okay, so I'm going to select the inner of these 2 that we have right here, and again I'm going to explode this, and then I'm going to select just this side right here. So the right side of this, when I did that left to right select, I'm just grabbing this column, and I'm going to move it over here, and actually I'm going to take this, I'll offset this 4.25 inches that way, and that'll be the column for our title block. So I know exactly where I'm moving this to. So normally I tell you guys grab something and then use a reference and move it over. I'm using that as the reference. So with that over there, that cleans that up. We can delete that, and then we'll do another trim and take out that right there and that right there. Okay, so this column right here, like I was saying, is going to be our actual column where we'll have information about the drawing. So typically what you'll have at the bottom, and these can all change, I'm kind of just going through a couple references to different styles. So typically what you have at the bottom is a section right here, and I'm just going to offset this, let's do an 1.5 inches up. So we've got that line there. I'm going to just extend, nope, that's extrude. Extend, there we go. I'll just stretch it out. I don't want to deal with the settings on this. All right. So, so right here is where you would have your actual sheet name, and then you'd have a couple more. I'll just offset a series of these. We'll go, let's call these 1/2 inch, and so you can have different information in here, just sort of depending on what it is that you need. I'll offset this again, 1.5, 1.5. And then we'll go from the top here. Maybe you have some other information about what this is. Again, I'll offset this 1.5, and then I'll do it again for 0.5. And again, I'll just kind of extend these out to the sides. And so depending on what exactly your professor's looking for, or your client, I suppose, is looking, well, not your client, but what someone's looking for is something like this, a title block that puts a border on this page, allows you to put drawings within this space, this sort of marked out space with the border, and then you'll have all your information over on the right-hand side in the case of this one. Like I was saying, others will have sort of sometimes a corner here, others will go all the way across the bottom. So that's not, like, it kind of just depends on what template you're using. There's a whole bunch out there you can grab. I think AutoCAD might even have a few, but I've never used them. So next step. So if you haven't watched the 8-2 video, go ahead and make sure you watch that before you go forward here, but we're kind of just going to repeat a lot of the same things there. So what we need through all these sections is information about what we're going to store here. So let me put down some text first, and go that way. What did I do here? Oh, I haven't set up any of my text styles either. Give me a minute and I'll get those set up. Okay, so I have a detail text style here that I set up. I don't know why it says 3/16, but we're going to do a single line of text, and this is the detail style I have you guys set up with 1/16 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at this corner right here with the single line, and I'm going to go out this way. Actually, let me double check my settings. I haven't done any text yet. We're going to justify to the left. Okay, yeah, we're good. So I will bring this text line, have it come out that way. We're going to call this sheet. And there's a reason I'm going from that corner. It'll make sense in a second, but I'll do another one right here, and we'll call this drawing title. And then depending on whose reference you're going off of, what information is relevant, you might have something like revision date or rev date, where you would mark or revision or something. Let's just do revision for that. And then you might have something like, let's see, this might be the office, so information about the office, the architect, You might have other information here, like drafter, who drafted this. So you might even put your name in there. So why am I doing them all in the corner like that? Because it looks weird? No, it's because I'm going to take them and I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to move them as one down and kind of freehand place them there so that they are all evenly spaced within those lines there so that they look nice and organized. So again, if you haven't watched 8-2, you're going to want to watch that. But let's see. Oh, I need the other. Let me throw in another one here. We'll just new from that, and we'll call this sheet. Oops, sheet num. This will be 1/2 inch. And I'll leave those other settings. Obviously, if you need to change your fonts, if you need to change your styles, you can do that. I don't particularly care about that for the purposes of this. So, so I have another one. So I'm going to do another one this time. We're going to, oh, actually, we need to do attribute definition. So if you have not, right, oops, there we go. Okay, so we're going to need another tag there. We're going to call this one sheet. Prompt is sheet, question mark, default A101, I guess. We're justifying it on the center. Text style is sheet num. Height 1/2 inch, no rotation. Do not do annotative on this. It's going to be the scale it is. Lock position, specify on screen. So we will insert it right about there. So we've got that going, and then maybe we need another font size here because we don't want to be that big. So let's do a new one. We'll call this title block detail. And we'll make this one 1/4 inch tall. Okay, and close, single line. And then again, this one I'm going to switch back, so justify to the left. And then I'll just go here. Oh, getting it backwards. Attribute definition. So this tag is going to be, what was I calling it? Title. So drawing title, prompt, title, question mark. Leave the default blank, left justify, not annotative, 1/4 inch, no rotation, specify on screen, all good to go there. So I'll place this here, this will be our title. I'll do the same thing again, this will be the revision version, question mark. Again, I'll leave the default blank, justify left, just continuing that same process. So am I getting this right? Yeah, I can just go the other way. Again, we'll have drafter name, and I think you guys kind of get where this is going. Again, let's see, left, blah, 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 okay. So I think you guys can kind of get where this is going. I'm actually going to put this, I'm going to shift these all back up to the one above like I did earlier. And depending on what information your professor needs you to put in these, I'm going to just kind of center this on those lines right there and then tweak them so they're just a bit out. So that they're just kind of consistent with each other. So again, as you go through, set all these up, you can have that working for you. Obviously, you probably have other things that you need to put in there, but that's kind of just me repeating the same stuff over and over again. We will call this our arc-C title block. Base point. Go ahead and leave this like this. With the typically I tell you guys specify on screen where the point is. Because of this should let it just sort of default back into this position when you bring them in. We'll see how that actually works, but we'll go from here. So let me double check that I got everything. With that, enter. Okay, so we selected our object, convert to block, not annotative. Specify on screen. We're good to go on that. I think that should be good. So in drafter name, Michael, version 1, title, Wow. Fancy title. I'm sorry. And then sheet, we'll just leave that at A101. So there we go. So how does this work now? Let's go to page setup. Actually, let's just close this, delete that. So as you're going through and actually setting up your the rest of your project, so what I'll do is I'll just name this A101, right click, and then we'll do move or copy. Give it a second, there we go. Move to N, create a copy. We'll rename this one A102. And then on this sheet, I will go to properties. Let me do that a little bit higher so you guys can see. Just to right click on here, properties, and then we're going to change the sheet right here to A102. So we're going to go on that. We will call this one fancier title and keep moving. And so that's how I would recommend setting up your title blocks if you're trying to get those set up, and just kind of make a custom one if you need to. It's a fairly simple process. I hope you guys were able to follow along with that. Let me know if you have any questions.